very, very, very exciting. I've got first impressions of the new Dior Homme Sport for you, and it is interesting, let me tell you that. So I've got the old version here for me to compare and let you know if it's the same, if it's better, if it's total crap. I talk here about men's fragrances from a woman's perspective, and I love men's colognes, so you'll be the best smelling guy in a room. So subscribe to this channel, and now let's talk about this new release. I couldn't wait for them to release the new Homme Sport because I love the old one. I'm just going to refer it as an old one so much. I have recommended it here on the channel. You can still get it at some discounters, but I was wondering, with the whole line just getting redone, I like, for example, the new Dior Homme Intense. I think it's nice. It's just different, so I was afraid that they are going to change it too much, and let me tell you, they have changed it. And let me tell you what I think about this change. So, spray this one here. To me, the Dior Homme Sport is a fragrance that is incredibly classy and fresh. I wouldn't necessarily say it's sporty per se. To me, sporty fragrance is a fragrance, for example, like Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. That is a sporty fragrance. This to me is a class in a bottle. This is a refreshing, expensive, gentlemanly scent that used to be. Now, usually I find that men prefer fragrances like Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette because they're a bit more in your face. They're like masculine, shower gel kind of fragrances. To me, this is so much more intriguing as a freshie because you don't find it, you don't smell it as often. So whenever I smell this, I'm like, whoa, this is great. And the old version used to have grapefruit, which to me, incredibly manly smelling in this fragrance. And to me, it was like a fresh, citrusy, simple, incredibly nicely done fresh scent for men for the summertime, I would say. And I have the new Dior Homme Sport here, and let me tell you, the first impression, I was so like heartbroken. I smelled it and I was like, what have they done to my beloved Dior Homme? Because the first whiff, it's a bit odd. It is something that I couldn't really pinpoint what it was, and this is the first impression. I don't have a full bottle of wearing. And then I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. It's still fresh. It's still nice and clean. The pros are that it's still very classy smelling. To me, it's less sporty smelling than the old one. To me, that really citrus dominant fragrance, now they have changed it. It's still got citruses and aldehydes, but especially just in the dry down, but overall it's much more of a woody scent to me, which I was quite surprised that they went to that. So if you're expecting this new Dior Homme Sport to be the same as old or very similar, I would say, at least for me, I have to put it in a separate category of a fragrance. This is a different fragrance. I have to look at it like that because otherwise it just doesn't compare. It's a different animal. It is much more woody. It's still got citruses, but the elemi and the woods are quite persistent from the beginning. They're quite heavy. And I must say that weirdness that you smell fresh off in the new one kind of goes away, so that is a good point. And it's an incredibly good smelling fragrance. It's just not the same. It's less sporty because it's not as fresh. It's just quite a woody fragrance, especially when you compare it to this. And it's sweeter also. It's much sweeter. I'm not saying it's a gourmand scent, but to me this was quite a shock that it's much more of a, it's got a sweeter base, but apparently I think it will last longer than this one because it's heavier. It will probably have better performance, which some of you might absolutely love. Overall, if I'm looking at a, you know, like if I was smelling this as a new fragrance, didn't know it was Dior Homme Sport, I would smell it and I would say it's incredibly good smelling. I would still be impressed. It's masculine smelling, it's very pleasant, it's classy still, very timeless and classy smelling. It's nice and kind of cozy even, I would say, especially in the dry down. It's got that warmth to it, which, you know, I keep going back to the old Dior Homme, but the old one doesn't have that. So it's quite a different fragrance. When I smell them side by side, they are so different, at least to me. It's just, yeah, it's a good fragrance, but first impressions, not really. If you love this one, try to get yourself a backup bottle of this one, because it just doesn't do the same things to me. It is a good smelling fragrance. I'll definitely buy it because I think it's a classic. Dior makes such good quality fragrances, but I would say it's a bit more versatile as well. You can wear it to more occasions because it's not as fresh as the old one. So I think what they've done with this whole line is they made it much more wearable and much more like line spray it, and you can pretty much go anywhere with that fragrance, whereas the previous line was a bit more, you know, this is your freshie. The Parfum version of Dior Homme was a heavy fragrance, kind of formal. Now they made them all a bit more approachable and likable and versatile, I feel like. So overall, if I was going to give this one a rating right now from first impressions, but I'm definitely going to do like a full review, I would give it an 8.2 out of 10. So very high still. I'm taking some points away from that weird freshness thing at the beginning, but that I might get it and not actually experience that anymore. Maybe it was a weird anomaly, but very nice fragrance. Just not what I expected. Let me know what you think about this new release. Have you smelled it? Let me know, because I'm wondering, do people think the same, or do they think, yeah, it's the exact same copy? To me, it's so different. And I love this one a bit more. But this one is also nice. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram at Monika_Cioch, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye. Ooh.